beautiful year in the Bible. It's a 52-week Bible study for women, and it puts sections of scripture into weekly themes. I'm Anna. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. This whole week is about living out our faith. It's week 43, and it's about transforming our belief into action by loving God and others. Today we're going to be reading in Ecclesiastes chapters 1 and 2. So it's our first time reading in Ecclesiastes for this Bible reading. Basically, we meet every morning at 5:30. We go live, and then on the weekends it's later. It's not an in-depth Bible study. If you get the book, then you can go a little bit deeper into that. But what we do is right here on the side, right here, we do these Bible readings together. So if you want to join us, make sure you hit subscribe. And then if you find value in this, make sure you hit that like button. Okay, a couple of things that I found out about Ecclesiastes was the main word of it is vanity. And basically how everything is just meaningless without God and how God just brings purpose to everything. Something else I found out that was really cool was that King Solomon, the wisest, the richest, and the wisest, the richest. Hold on, I want to make sure. Oh, the most influential king of Israel's history. He was most likely the author of Ecclesiastes, and which is pretty amazing. So having the wisest author be writing this. But what was cool as well is that Song of Solomon, they think that Solomon wrote in his younger years, and then he wrote Proverbs in his middle years, and then Ecclesiastes later on in his life. So this is from an older, still wiser king. Okay, so let's read Ecclesiastes today. Everything is meaningless, chapter 1. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. Verse 12, wisdom is meaningless. I, the teacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. What a heavenly burden God has laid on mankind. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this, too, is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Chapter 2, pleasures are meaningless. I said to myself, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good. But that also proved to be meaningless. Laughter, I said, is madness. And what does pleasure accomplish? I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly. My mind still guided me with wisdom. I wanted to see what was good for people to do under the heavens during the few days of their lives. I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves and flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself and the treasures of kings and provinces. I acquired male and female singers and a harem as well, the delight of a man's heart. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this, my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my labor, and this was the reward for all my toil. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Verse 12, wisdom and folly are meaningless. Then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom, and also madness and folly. What more can the king's successor do than what has already been done? I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise have eyes in their heads, while the fool walks in the darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate overtakes them both. Then I said to myself, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? I said to myself, this too is meaningless. For the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. The days have already come when both have been forgotten. Like the fool, the wise too must die. Verse 17, toil is meaningless. So I hated life, because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. All of it meaningless, a chasing after the wind. I hated all things I had toiled for under the sun, because I must leave them to the one who comes after me. And who knows whether that person will be wise or foolish? Yet they will have control over all the fruit of my toil, into which I have poured my effort and skill under the sun. This too is meaningless. So my heart began to despair over all my toilsome labor under the sun. For a person may labor with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, but then they must leave all they own to another who has not toiled for it. This too is meaningless and a great misfortune. What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving with which they labor under the sun? All their days their work is grief and pain. Even at night their minds do not rest. This too is meaningless. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too I see is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases himself, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner, he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth to hand it over to one who pleases God. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Man, I really loved reading that, thinking about it from the perspective of the author of Solomon, having that. I think that was kind of cool, having that background knowledge. Well, that wraps up today. And tomorrow we're going to be reading all of Habakkuk. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of background reading on that tonight, just to find out what it's about, who the author is, and all of that. So have a wonderful day today, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 5:30. Don't forget to hit that like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.